Hi there, welcome to the latest episode 112. I am your host, Dr. Jenny Chen. Guess what? I am on vacation in Europe and thought it would be a great time to check out FabRx. FabRx is a University College London spinout and one of the top companies dedicated to 3D printed personalized pharmaceuticals. Check out my conversation with Professor Alvaro Goyanes, the co-founder and CEO of FabRx, and get some updates in the world of 3D printed drugs. Please listen to the disclaimer at the end of this podcast. Hey guys, guess where I am? I am in London, the headquarter or the brain part of a company called FabRx, which is a 3D printed pharmaceutical startup in London out of UCL. So I'm in the co-founder of FabRx, Professor Alvaro Goyanes' office. So first of all, why don't you introduce yourself and the company a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. Very nice to meet you in London.
I know you first time.
Yeah. Well, my name is Alvaro Goyanes. I'm a pharmacist by training. I'm originally from Spain, but I moved to London 14 years ago, just for 1 year postdoc, but now it's 14. I'm one of the co-founders of the company, and I'm also associate professor in a university in Spain, in Santiago de Compostela. So I spend part of my time in Spain and part in London and part traveling around. So my passion is technology, science, healthcare, and 3D printing combines everything because we have software, hardware, development of medicines. And this is how we started, myself with the other two co-founders, Professor Abdul Basit, that is actually the owner of this space, it's not me, and the co-founder. He's professor in the UCL, and Bill Lindsay, Dr. Bill Lindsay, who is part of the UCL business and helping all the business part of the company. So we had a vision, and we tried to make this vision a reality. And our vision is that we can make medicines personalized using a 3D printer.
And you guys have been around for almost a decade, is that right? And you have published more than 100 papers. So lost count, actually, technically speaking. But what are the latest news out of FabRx, from partnership to clinical trials to publications lately?
Yeah, well, we are very active doing research, and many people think like we are too researchy because we publish a lot, hundreds of articles, and our partners and collaborators they publish a lot as well. So we love research, and this is part of our academic background. But we are really focused on application and clinical application. So we have partnerships with many hospitals around the world, basically. I would highlight France, Spain, Canada, the US. So we have many interesting clinical studies with different drugs, chemotherapy drugs, pediatric medicines, elderly medicines, and also partnerships. We are very excited to start introducing our product in the US in compounding pharmacies with our partner Pete Pharma. Pete Pharma is a company based in Arizona, in Phoenix, and they are real experts in compounding, and they are experts about the needs of compounding pharmacies. So we partner together to introduce our product, the MediMaker 1. And right now we have many pharmacies in the US that are using our product. They are not manufacturing because it's compounding medicines to give these medicines to the people. And thanks to Pete Pharma.
And so bringing up compound medicine is a very interesting topic because lately there are a lot of FDA regulation about GLP-1 drug and compound medicine. How does your company, the 3D printing process, help these companies, this industry, compound medicine?
So our printer helps compounding to automate compounding. One of the problems of compounding is that it's manual process. So you have a technician preparing stuff, and sometimes there are errors because humans make mistakes. No? So with 3D printing, we avoid that. We can prepare what we call the pharma ink, and at the beginning of the month, you prepare these pharma ink syringes. and you can store them. But then during the month, whenever you need to prepare your medication for your patients, progesterone, T3, T4, naltrexone, whatever drug, you just take the syringe, you put it in the printer, select the doses, and print. It's something similar concept to the Nespresso coffee machine, that you have your capsules.
Yeah.
You take the capsule, put it in the capsule in the coffee machine, and you get your coffee. So this is what the compounding pharmacies are doing now. And since our system is controlled by software and has a balance under the bill plate, we know the weight of each individual tablets, so we can assure the quality of the medicines. And that's the best selling point.
Yes.
We save time, but also we increase the quality of the medicines.
Yeah. I think one of the problems with compounding medicine is the inconsistency, because it's a manual process. So with the digital process, you have more controllable process. And I actually was just in the lab, actually saw some part of your quality control process. Do you want to just expand on that a little bit? How do you guys ensure every, pill or whatever that comes out is actually consistent with what they wanted?
Yeah, so the main part of our printing system is traceability. So you know exactly which materials you are using, under which conditions, with which parameters. So everything is consistently done. So you follow the same protocol that is in the software. And that solves 95% of the problems. Then if there is a potential error, like I don't know, the needle broke or something, we have a pressure sensor. So you know that what you are extruding is under the right pressure. There are no problems in mixing, consistency, whatever. So we have the pressure sensor that is critical to identify the problems even before printing. And then when the medicine is printed, we weight each individual tablet or capsule. So we know that if there is a variation in weight, we can remove that tablet or that capsule, and we avoid the problems. So also we have a camera system that identifies that we are printing in the right way.
Okay.
This is something additional. And now with the use of AI, this is fantastic because it can identify if there are problems in one of the blisters. So, and we are always evolving. So we are always improving and making the system better. So I would say balance, pressure sensor, camera, and then for more research project, NIR, near infrared. That is a technology based on light that is able to identify the amount of drug inside the tablet. Not only the weight of the whole tablet, but the amount of drug, the dose inside the tablet. That's more expensive equipment, so it's not in daily practice, but it's something that we use for research a lot.
So people who buy a printer right now can get the camera, the weight, and the pressure sensor.
Yeah, that's included with any printer.
And obviously the software stack behind it.
And the software, exactly. With all the formulations and all the protocols to make the medicines.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the breadth of APIs that you guys handle or in research, including the HRTs, the hydrocortisols for people with adrenal gland abnormalities, cancer. And you mentioned that you guys just published a paper on hydroxyurea for pediatric cancer care.
Yeah.
Or in Canada. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is the drug is hydroxyurea. I was not really.
Sorry, I just butchered that.
No, it's
totally not a pharmacist here.
The name of the drug sometimes are scary. So this drug, I was not aware about this drug before starting the project, but we have a partnership with hospital in Montreal and University of Montreal in Canada, and they said we have a need. We want to make medicines, chewable medicines for patients, pediatric patients that need hydroxyurea. The drug is a chemotherapy product, so it's not easy to handle, and we need to personalize the dose. So one of the team members, John, came to Spain, where we have most of our research facilities in Santiago de Compostela, spent time with us, developed formulations for that specific drug, and then they tested back in Canada the drug compared to the standard treatment, that is another type of compounded medicine. In this case, they started testing in dogs bioavailability and that checked that the safety of the medicine was good. And this is a very exciting project because they are solving a real issue for patients. And this is why we founded the company. The company we founded to implement these solutions into clinic. And this is, for us, fantastic.
So how many patients do you think you're actually helping so far?
This is something that I don't really know because we have many partners. We have hundreds of printers out there in hospitals, pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies are very secretive. We don't really know what they do. Sometimes they ask questions when they want advice. So we don't know the number of customers or projects they are involved. In hospitals, we have more than 20 clinical studies with a high number of patients. And then in pharmacies, this is a standard practice. So they are making compounding medicines for hundreds or thousands of patients. So there is a big number of patients.
So you definitely have already impacted at least that number of patients directly.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And I think I want to wrap up with something that we don't usually talk about, which is policies. And sometimes the policy drives innovation. And there is a new policy, just UK, focusing on point of care pharmaceuticals. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago or 1 year ago, UK changed or brought new regulation that is called distributed point of care or modular manufacturing. So 3D printing enters in this category of modular manufacturing. And this new regulation would allow any company to manufacture medicines in hospitals or decentralized facilities in a much easier way without the need to get a GMP license for each manufacturing site. So it means that we are going to have a centralized facility that is going to be inspected and needs to be GMP, but then the manufacturing sites around this centralized facility that could be hundreds of miles away are not going to be inspected. Could be inspected, but they don't need to be GMP facilities. So that simplifies a lot the process and offers clear guidelines about how this is going to be implemented in the UK.
Yeah.
This is really new. And it's
was it last year or something?
Yeah, I think it was last year in July or June. Probably. Yeah. So it's something new. It's not really, no companies are using this for production right now because it takes time to check all these documents and everything, but it's great. And also, last month, the European agency shared a document about questions and answers for 3D printing. That is also a really interesting document. So
yeah, I mean, usually Europe is behind the United States, but I feel like this is actually ahead of the time here.
Well, not sure. The USP, the US Pharmacopoeia, that is the company regulating somehow the compounding, is ahead as well. They have printers, and actually they have.
I should brush up my knowledge in this area.
No, but it's interesting because actually last week they share an open position that is in LinkedIn because they are hiring people with they require people with 3D printing experience because they are actually embracing a lot this technology. That's and they want to develop guidelines for 3D printing in pharmacies under compounding regulation. So it's moving. And also the FDA as well. So we cannot forget that the first 3D printed medicine was manufactured in the US, approved by the FDA, the company Aprecia.
That is true. That is also with the past webinars, we have featured them as well several times.
They are the pioneers.
So very exciting time for you guys.
Yeah. And we have this here. And now that I see this is Bud Lightyear.
Yes.
We have an article that is called To Infinity and Beyond, How to Print Medicines in Outer Space. And we have conversations with NASA.
Cool.
Yeah, because they want new methods to manufacture medicines when we go to other planets and outer space. And they are really interested in 3D printing because we are not going to have in space a tableting machine that weighs like 2 tons. We need something small to make medicines for astronauts.
And also in microgravity environment, even in lower orbit, that's already a very worthy problem to solve. So, no, I get it.
Exactly.
Very exciting.
So really exciting times ahead. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming to visit us, and welcome to come whenever you want.
Yeah, that's my pleasure. Next time. Thank you, guys.
This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. The views expressed do not constitute medical or financial advice. The technologies and procedures discussed may not be commercially available or suitable for every case. Always consult with a licensed professional.